Hey everybody, welcome back to math. Today we're going to go through 8.4 special product and factoring. So we're still kind of doing the same thing, but there's some special circumstances and maybe some easier way to do certain problems. So let me show you some of these. We're going to divide this up over 2 days as well. So here we go. Go ahead and write the dates in if you want for today. The pages in the textbook are 211 through 212. And this has to do with squaring things. So we can do that. We can totally square things. There's a special form to let me point out a couple things for you. So let me start right here on our special form. I see A and B and squared. That's great, but I see this weird symbol in the middle, and that means either plus or minus. So this can be A plus B squared or A minus B squared. And you're going to see that sign again right here. And so I'll break it down here for you, but it has to do with either plus or minus. So let's look down at what I just drew. Oops, an arrow to. I just added a new page. Let me get rid of that. Hit the wrong button. Let's get where we need to be. Let's go down where I just threw the arrow to. And so we call this the square of a binomial. So we're going to square a binomial. Okay? And we can see two forms here. I see an A plus B and an A minus B. So notice the difference between them. If I have A plus B squared, then I've got A squared plus 2AB plus B squared. And if I have A minus B squared, then I have A squared minus 2AB plus B squared. Note the only thing different is if I'm subtracting, then I have a subtraction between my first two problems. Okay? So hopefully me doing this will make sense. So here we go. I wrote a binomial here, A plus 3, and I squared it. So I'm going to show you how to use this form in order to do this problem. Well, I see over here that it's A plus B squared. So note the A is in the A position and the 3 is in the B position. So keep that in mind. All right, so I'm going to write my form down. It equals this. A squared plus 2AB plus B squared. All right, so I'm going to take whatever's in the A position and square it. So A is in the A position, so that would again be A squared plus 2 times whatever's in the A position, which is an A, whatever's in the B position, which is a 3, and I'll do that math in a moment, plus whatever's in the B position, a 3 squared. All right, let's write it all out. So I have A squared plus 2 times 3 is 6A plus 9. That, my friends, is my final answer. So I need to kind of keep this separated, and I'll do a couple problems for you today. But what you just found was a perfect square trinomial. So if you want to draw an arrow down, that answer, it came from a perfect square because we squared a binomial, so now we call it a perfect square trinomial. And if we look down again at our terminology one more, you're going to see that I have written special product, the product that is the perfect square trinomial, or the difference of two squares. We write that down here because those answers are what those are. All right, so let's try 4 practice problems today. Here's your first one, D plus 8 squared. All right, so the first thing I need to do is I wrote both equations at the top. I need to figure out which one it is. Well, it's the top one because it's D plus 8, so I need to use A plus B. So I'm going to rewrite underneath here. This would be what's in the A position, D. 8 is in the B position. And I'm going to square those, so just as a reminder, and I'm going to write what I'm supposed to get. I'm supposed to get A squared plus 2AB plus B squared. All right, so let's fill in what we know. In the A position, I have a D. So here's the A, so I'd have D, and I'm supposed to square it. Plus 2 times whatever's in the A position, which is a D, times whatever's in the B position, which is an 8. Write my plus sign again. And then whatever's in the B position, which is an 8 squared. And now simplify. I have D squared plus 16D plus 64. Now, how do you check this? And I'm only going to do this one time. You check it with the box method or FOIL. So let me check it for you. So we had d plus 8, and we would write it twice because we squared it. That's what the problem initially was, d plus 8 times d plus 8. And I didn't put the plus in because that just implies they're positive. So it's box method at d squared, 8d, 8d, and 64. Hey, we got our answer. D squared plus 16d, right here, plus 64. Same answer. You could do this, or you could use that special form. So let's do the next one. Y minus 11. Well, let me write my form down here. I have the subtraction one, so it's a minus b squared. So that is supposed to be a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So when we are subtracting in our perfect square binomial, it is subtraction, then addition. All right, let's do what it says and what's in the correct positions. In my a position, I have a y, so it'd be y squared minus 2 times whatever's in my a position, which is a y, times whatever's in my b position, which is an 11. Okay? And then plus whatever's in my b position squared, which is an 11. So I put an 11 in there, and I square it. All right, so let's fill in what we have. Now note I didn't put negative 11 in. That minus has already been taken care of because we have it here. So I didn't put a negative in there. Okay, I just put it in as positive. So if we simplify it out, I'd have y squared minus 2 times 11, which is 22. Add the y plus 121. And again, if you want to check that answer, you do the box method. Y times negative 11, or y and negative 11 and y and negative 11 in the box method. All right, I'm going to skip to number 4 and then go back to 3 because I think 3 was trickier. So we're going to go to 4 first. If you're following along in your book on the page, we're going to do this one first. All right, so it's a plus b squared. So my final answer has to be a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. All right. So whatever's in the a position, which this time is a 3w, so I'd have to have a 3w, and I need it to be squared, plus, and I got to do the math on that a little yet, so it's not just w squared, the 3 squared too. 2 times whatever's in the a position, which is 3w, times that which is in the b position, which is 11, plus whatever's in the b position, so 11 squared. All right, let's simplify this down. This squared applies to both the w and the 3, so I have 9w squared plus 2 times 3, which is 6, times 11, which is 66w, plus 121. And again, if you would like to check the math on that, and you just go ahead and do a box method. 3w and 11 times 3w and 11. All right, last problem for today is number 3, and I put this one last because it has 2 variables in it, which I feel like makes it slightly trickier. All right, so I'm going to rewrite this because I think this is deceivingly tricky how your book has it. This is actually 5x, and I'm going to take this and put it back to a subtraction because that's how the form we're doing it in. So minus 4y squared. Now, that should look more like what we just did in the last 3 problems. This is a minus c. This should not have been a plus c. So watch for things like that. If it's plus a negative, you should make it a subtraction. So this is going to be a squared minus, because it's subtraction, 2ab plus b squared. All right, let's fill in what we know. I'm going to move my page up here real quick. Fill in what we know. This is in my a position here is 5x. So I have 5x, careful, all of that is squared, minus 2 times, in the a position is 5x, in the b position is 4y, and again, I'm not making it negative 4y, I'm just going to leave it as 4y. That was in my b position, and then plus 4y, all of it squared. All right, let's simplify what we have. So again, the squared applies to both. I'd have 25x squared minus 2 times 5 is 10 times 4 is 40, and x times y is xy, plus both squared, so 16y squared. And that is your final answer. All right, so let me know if you need any help with any of this. Otherwise, good luck on everything in your homework. And hopefully I get to see you guys again soon.